global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
Secretly plotting your demise. I want to devise a virus.
Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm reading an article titled Texas Plane Crash Exposes Gap in U.S. Air Security. So, this is no real big surprise, right? Anytime something like this happens, whether it's a false flag or whether it's legitimate, or whether just nothing happens, it exposes a gap in security. So, I don't think there's ever going to be enough security, right? Even if we're walking around like in 1984, where you can't go anywhere without your voice being heard, or your body yourself being visibly caught on camera, and there's police on every corner with batons, pepper spray, rubber bullets, tasers, tanks, all non-lethal weapons, lethal weapons, all the spy blimps, surveillance blimps. With all that, still, they will always find gaps in security so that they can have more. So maybe when it gets to that point where there's cops on every single corner, maybe when we'll start thinking, well, maybe the security, more security doesn't really help prevent these events, right? But whatever, it's no surprise. It's no surprise. So. Let's, because I saw this, what was it, almost 2 days after the event, and this was from February 20th, so it's already 2 days old, but I've been meaning to get to this because this is just par for the course, right? And the old problem, reaction, solution, where they just roll out the solution, and so here we go. It says, Georgetown, Texas, after 9/11, cockpit doors were sealed, air marshals were added, and airport searches became more aggressive. That's right, they're feeling up your children and your wife, and it's good times, right? Awesome, man. And now they got behavior detection agents that are staring you down, looking at all these people, trying to gauge their behavior to see if you're a terrorist. And now the CIA-sponsored Patsy, who was working on intelligence with our intelligence, in an operation, who was allowed to get board of that plane in Denmark, the famous underpants bomber. So then we had naked body scanners. Now we got to roll those out for us, right? And it says, yet little has been done to guard against attacks with smaller planes. And so, that point was driven home with chilling force on Thursday when a Texas man with a grudge against the IRS crashed his single-engine plane into an office building in a furious suicide attack. One person inside the building was also killed. It's a big gap, said R. William Johnstone, an aviation security consultant and former staff members of the commission that investigated the September 11th attacks. It wouldn't take much, even a minor incident involving two simultaneously attacking planes, to inflict enough damage to set off alarm bells and do some serious harm to the economy and national psyche. Like the Federal Reserve and all the bankers and all that crap, and our government itself aren't doing enough damage to the economy, right? The suburban Georgetown Municipal Airport that pilot Joe Stack entered hours before his airborne attack in nearby Austin had the casual atmosphere of a sleepy parking garage. So you see what they're getting at here. Casual atmosphere of a sleepy parking garage. It's just too laid back. There's just too much freedoms. Just way, way too much freedoms here, people. We got to do something about this. Otherwise, we're just going to have people flying planes in the buildings. It has nothing to do with the piece of shit scum IRS that forces people to commit suicide because they ruin their lives and their families, right? It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with us not being secure enough. Pilots were not subject to baggage checks, metal detector scans, or pat-downs, and they are usually not required to file flight plans. How are they going to stop it? This guy had a hangar, and he had an access to an airport, said Beth Ann Jenkins, president of Pilot's Choice, a flight school near where Stack kept his Piper. Travis McLean, manager of the airport, said, quote, I don't know of a rule or regulation or safety precaution that could have prevented what happened yesterday. Let me repeat this. Travis McLean, manager of the airport, said, I don't know of a rule or regulation or safety precaution that could have prevented what happened yesterday. The easy access and lack of security are the result of years of debate and stalemate over how much of the threat small aircraft pose as terror weapons and how they can be regulated without stifling commerce and pilot freedom. While the airlines quickly accepted tougher security after September 11th, the general aviation industry, which includes everything from privately owned propeller-driven planes to large corporate jets, have aggressively fought new measures because they don't like safety, right? That's why they don't like safety and whatnot. The proposed rules would require that operators of medium and large general aviation aircraft demonstrate that flight crews have undergone a criminal background check, that they would also be required to verify passengers are not on the no-fly list already used by large airlines. And, so if you're not on that list, you're good to go, right? Like Faraq Abdul Muttalib, the Patsy, the Christmas Day underpants bomber, right? Because he wasn't on a no-fly list, so that just really just legitimizes the system that they're trying to promote, right? Because it's just so damn efficient, right? No, they left him. They let him keep his visa not because of a computer software mistake, because he was part of an intelligence gathering operation. He was working for us. That's why he that's why his visa was valid. That's why he wasn't on the no-fly list. So you see, it's no matter how much security you get, it's selectively enforced. And it's not made to keep people safe, because if they were, commercial airplanes would have parachutes for all their passengers, right? Just little something simple, right? Just something, right? Just something to put in a freaking plane that's going to help keep you safe. A little peace of mind. So if the plane goes down, you throw on this little parachute, and it's not going to be anything fancy or anything big, but it's going to be something, right? You pay almost, $200 to fly every time. And no, because you're just a write-off in an insurance, right? That's it. They don't give a shit about you when it comes to that. As far as loss of life, no, they give you a flotation device, and if you hit the water 9 times out of 10, you're dead, people, okay? You're falling 30,000 feet. The pilot could try to do what he can, and if he's a really good pilot, you might get out of it alive. But it just kind of goes to show you're a sitting duck when you go in them damn planes. But, so it says private pilots fly approximately 200,000 small and medium-sized planes in the U.S. using 19,000 airports, most of them small. The plane owners insist the aircraft has nothing in common with airliners but the sky. Quote, I don't see a gaping security hole here, said Tom Walsh, an aviation security consultant. Quote, in terms of aviation security, there are much bigger fish to fry than worrying about small aircraft. He said most would-be terrorists would draw the same conclusion, that tiny aircraft don't pack a big enough punch. And they don't. They can't go that far, they can't go that fast, and they can't hold that much fuel. Which to me is kind of weird, because there was a big boom in that building, at least half the freaking building off this little ass plane. So that to me is a little skeptical. And even an individual who's has his pilot license, he wrote in a comment on one of my videos that he goes that even this thing has done a lot more damage than what a normal that plane of that size would do. So, but there you go, guys. It's gonna be pretty much it. There's just more kind of crap going on down here. But it says there was no way to impose one overall scrutiny structure that would fit every general aviation airport's needs. And it said at the Georgetown airport, where 240 small aircraft are based, Manager McLean said she hopes Stack's suicidal attack doesn't lead to an overreaction. I would hope that common sense and cooler heads would prevail. So, let's hope that they do. But everything else can be exploited, just like everything else. But Thank you, everybody, for checking this out. Thought it'd be kind of important to post. Thanks.